They laughed at him, told him he was wasting his time, that he didn't have the talent, the background, or the brains to make it. They called his dreams impossible, unrealistic, foolish. He didn't have any powerful friends to open doors. But what he had was a vision, a deep, unshakable belief that he was meant for more. And that belief, it was louder than every doubt the world tried to throw at him. They said he'd never make it, and they said it was certainty. But here's the thing, he didn't listen. It's a lesson in resilience, a reminder that greatness doesn't ask for permission. From the quiet conviction that your story isn't over, that your setbacks aren't signs to quit, but signals to grow. He used what he could, borrowed equipment, free tools, late nights, early mornings. He became a student of the process, studied the people who had made it, not to copy them, but to understand what made them different. And over time, he noticed something. Success wasn't about being the smartest or the most talented. It was about who could stay in the game the longest, who could keep going after the applause stopped, who could still show up when no one was watching. He faced mockery, silence, indifference, but he didn't let it break him. Instead, he turned rejection into fuel when the pressure felt unbearable. But in those moments, he would remember why he started. Not for fame, not for approval, but because deep down, he knew this was the life he was meant to live. And that the people who change their lives, and sometimes the world, are the ones who dare to silence the noise of doubt and keep moving anyway. He was becoming the kind of person who could hold it. It's about who you become on the inside. The late nights teach discipline. The failures teach humility. The grind teaches gratitude. And the journey, that teaches you everything. While his friends were out partying, he was at home building, studying, preparing. Every day, he asked himself one simple question. What can I do today that gets me closer to where I want to be? That question became his compass. It didn't matter if the step was small, if the progress was invisible. He moved forward, inch by inch, day by day. The sacrifices were heavy. The loneliness was real. But he understood something most people never do. The price of success is paid in advance. From the outside, his path looked hopeless. He wasn't born into money. He didn't go to elite schools. The story you're about to hear is not just about one man's rise. Every success story starts with rejection. The greatest achievements often begin with the smallest spark, one that only the dreamer can see. When he first started out, he didn't look like a winner. He was overlooked, underestimated, even he applied for jobs and got rejected. He launched projects and watched them fail. He tried and failed again. But each failure carved something into him, a kind of stubborn courage, a refusal to settle for less. He didn't have a roadmap, just a relentless work ethic. While others were sleeping in, he was working in silence. He didn't chase overnight wins. He played the long game. The truth is, the world rarely believes in you at the start. That belief, it has to come from within. He started where he was, with what he had. No excuses, no waiting for perfect timing. There were times he wanted to give up, days when nothing made sense, when the money wasn't coming in. He wasn't chasing a dream. That's the part they never talk about, the internal transformation, because real success isn't just about what you build on the outside. Eventually, things began to shift, slowly, then all at once. The same people who once doubted him started to pay attention. He didn't let them convince him to shrink. He stayed true to his vision, even when it was hard. Especially when it was hard, and that's what made all the difference. They saw the results, the momentum, the rise. They called it luck, but he knew better. He remembered the lonely nights, the ignored messages, the constant grind when no one cared. Luck didn't build this, persistence did. What's remarkable is not just that he succeeded, it's that he succeeded without bending to the voices of doubt. He didn't let them define him. Because the truth is, people will always have something to say. They'll project their own limitations onto you. They'll tell you what you can't do, based on what they couldn't do. But you don't have to accept their story. You don't have to live by their script. But if you're willing to block out the noise and stay committed, everything changes. A moment where quitting seems easier, but the real magic happens when you push through that moment, when you decide, no matter what, this is not where it ends. The question is, will you listen? A reminder that the world doesn't get to decide your worth. You do, and every day you show up, every step you take is a statement, a declaration that says, I'm not done yet. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they stop trying. They listen to the wrong voices. They trade their dreams for comfort. He wasn't special. He didn't have superpowers. He just refused to give up, refused to settle, refused to let anyone else write his ending. And that choice, that mindset, it turned a nobody into a name worth remembering. He built something out of nothing, not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. And that's a life well lived. Not one built on shortcuts, but on strength. Not one shaped by applause, but by purpose. This is more than motivation. It's a call to action. If the world is telling you to quit, don't. Keep going. You're not crazy for believing in something bigger. You're courageous. You're choosing growth over comfort. And in the end, that's what separates those who wish from those who win. They said he'd never make it. But look at him now. He's not just successful, he's fulfilled. So if you're in the middle of your own climb, if the odds feel stacked against you, every great story starts with a moment of doubt. So block out the noise, turn down the doubts, raise your standards, and walk your path with conviction. They said he'd never make it. He didn't listen. Now the world can't stop listening to him. And someday, they won't stop listening to you. Because if you keep going, if you refuse to quit, if you decide that your voice is louder than their doubt, then you're already on your way, not to prove them wrong, but to prove to yourself that you are always right to believe.